Hi, I'm Rob, and today I like to show you a tour and some tips for tiny work spaces. And well, I've quite some experience in it, so over the years I could discover a lot of things. And one thing is, it's always too small, so you have to be creative, and that's what I like to show you. Well, this is going to be a tour about a 96 square feet workshop in an apartment. So there is no outside. Well, one of the big questions is always, what do you want to put in? And maybe even more important, what you want to leave out. One of the things is with machines, which machine you give a dedicated place in your tool shop. And you have to make a selection. And the rest goes in the cupboard or whatever, because yeah, there is no space for it. What I do is, I have a few steady in the shop, a few machines, and the rest is all portable. So when I need it, I can put it on the bench or whatever, and yeah, start to work with it. But that takes time. It's not that you run to a corner and there is your bandsaw, and another corner your circle saw, your saw table. So yeah, you have to be creative. Also a very space-saving system. Let's do it with separated worktops, and this is then mobile. You see, and yeah, you can anchor that with a few screws in the workbench. So then it always has a dedicated place on your workbench. And if you are ready with using your router, well, you can put it to the side wall or somewhere else, and you're rid of it. And that's a very good system. You also can hang it in a workmate, so the machine goes between the workmate and the rest goes over it. Then you have it on a dedicated table. So it's a good system. Then also for the jigsaw, that's in here, that's also a very good system. Same thing, you can take it away, put it to the side, and you can keep on going. I have both. That's for a jigsaw, what you see now. But this one can also handle a jigsaw. So you can make it as a router, but you also can make it as a jigsaw. You see here. And yeah, you have a nice big surface. So if you have big plates, you have enough space to carry. And yeah, that's an advantage. I have a foot switch. It's just from normal house domestic plugs and switches. But I made a little box and hung it in, and it works. And then yeah, you can do it with your foot. You see, so that's a foot switch. And same thing goes for the router. You can plug them in both, but each has an individual on-off switch. So you put one off and the other one stays on, and then you can use it. Yeah, one of the most important things is, for instance, if you cut wood and you have sheet material, yeah, it's too small to do that on a saw table. Because don't forget, with a saw table you need double the length of your wood plus 1 meter or 4 feet extra. Because it has to go into the machine and it has to go out of the machine. But therefore a track saw is way more shorter. That's only the sheet of material. And more space, in a way, you don't need. Maybe 30 centimeters on each side for your machine to start. But that's it. Also, if you have to work with the track saw, What is handy if you construct your assembly table, that you have a little bit of overhang. Then you always can apply a clamp. So here you see the F-clamp for the rail saw, and that clamps very easy the material to your table. Well, as you can see, this is a piece of sheet material. Oh, by the way, a track for the track saw of 140 centimeters. It's a very handy size. So don't go too big, but too small is always also not so handy. So I think for a small space, 140 is okay. Also, if you want to keep it a bit tidy and clean, what is a very big help is drawers and cupboards, cabinets. And yeah, you can put a lot in it, and it's very easy to maintain. So if you put only boards or planks on the wall, yeah, it's very messy and a lot of dust is coming into it. And you have to clean it after a time. You have to clean it all. And that's a work, I tell you. So doors is excellent. Now, to give you more an idea how it is with a saw table, there is of course not much space. And yeah, you have to be a bit creative. I made it now a little bit bigger. I dressed it up with a big rear saw fence, 120, and with an in-feed and an out-feed table. So yeah, there is not much space left. Then here, under, you see storage. That's the box where the saw table is standing on. And yeah, that's for all kind of stuff for the sewing machine. And then it's always a battle how much tools I'm gonna put in, where I'm gonna leave them, and how much material. And yeah, that's for everybody a little bit different. Well, I start near the window, and here we have a drill table. And that's an old saw table with a steel frame, so it's quite sturdy. A top on it, a worktop, vise, and the drill press. That's with an XY table. It's a very handy thing. But anyway, this is then for drilling. You can move it forward like this. It can move. It's not mounted to the floor. So if I have a bit of bigger stuff, I always can open the windows like this and get it outside. You see? So if I have something sticking out in here, I can go all the way to there and to there. Then behind the drill table I have some storage for sheet material. Not too big, of course, because yeah, it's small. And there above, there hang a few jigs and a few standards for the camera. So a lot of jigs, they hang over here. And then next to the workbench, you have the workbench, I have 3 cupboards, and they are 80 by 80 by 40. Well, as you can see, it's not really a workbench, it's more an assembly table. And it has a 36 mil top. So yeah, it's quite fat, and a piece of decking over it. Something like 3 mil MDF wide. And for me, yeah, that's quite sufficient. Well, now we get the cupboards, and this is then the first cupboard above the workbench, near the window. And that's for washers, rubber washers, all kind of mounting stuff. Also some tools, hole drills for in the wall, in wood, all kind. That's all situated in here. Then the next cupboard, it's for drawing stuff, rulers, that sort. That's all on the first shelf. Then still acrylic paint for art, some other stuff, and still a few books. Then the other cupboard, that is paint, glue, varnish, all kind of stuff, oil, gas, that's in this cupboard. Then I go to the big cupboard, and there is storage for bags, tool bags, toolboxes, electricity bulbs, fittings, paint, electric cords, some machines, another grinder, and more machines and automotive tools, a few toolboxes. Oh yeah, last but not least, a compound miter saw, and that one is always positioned on the worktop. Then under the worktop I have a series of 4 drawers, and the first drawer, that's this one, that is in yeah, all kind of measuring tools, some tape measures and calipers, all kind of measuring stuff. Then the second drawer is for all kind of little stuff. You see, like this, impact driver, scalpel, little brushes, some solder material, and little files, more files in here, so that's full of that stuff. The third drawer, so there are a few spirit levels and all kind of miscellaneous, yeah, hole saws, to see little planes. Here I have a few planes, standees, polish material, all kind of material. And then the last, and that's a collection, a deep drawer of hammers. Any thinkable hammer I think you can find in here. Rubber, plastic, steel, wood, also pliers. You know, there are a few pliers in, like this sort of stuff. You see, that's all in. Further, and this is more for hand tools. It's quite a deep drawer. I don't know if you can see that well. Second drawer, and that's more automotive, wrenches, pliers, pipe wrenches, that sort of stuff. Ring spanners. The third one, that's files, all kind of metal files and wood. And here I have a drawer for hand saws. That's then the drawer with hand saws. Those drawers, I made them also myself. They are 65-70 centimeters. So they are quite deep. Then on this side I have a very handy device. Then next to the drawers I have the toolbox. It's a Waterloo toolbox. And yeah, that's also full with plumber stuff. You see here more plumbing stuff. It's all in here. And this one has a little trick. With this one you can put a piece of workmate on it, a vise, like this. So if you have to work bigger objects and you need to go more to the floor, you can use this one. It's a very handy thing. You also can use it loose on the floor if you have to do a door or something like that, or a big sheet. You put it on the floor, clamp a door in it, and you can work on the hinges. I have a dedicated video also for this toolbox. So if you want to know how to make that toolbox, you can also find it in the video. Well, here we have then the middle hole. And that is for yeah, all kind of stuff. Like again, an automotive toolbox. That's full. I have 3 of those boxes. Some antique tools, more hammers, torque wrench, and a box for old rags, cloth. And that's in a box also under the workbench in case of fire or whatever. So I never have rags laying around, because yeah, that's hazardous. Yeah, and as you see, there are so many automotive tools. You see, English, inch sizes, metric. And so I have still 2 more boxes. So yeah, I don't have wall space to hang all that stuff. So in drawers is for me yeah, the best option to store as much tools as I can. And then I still have more, but that's in the cellar. And that's more the big stuff. Well, now we move a bit to the last, and that's for storage of the sewing machine. Plus an outfeed table and another jig. And there is also a top half of a workmate. And that I use as a vise. And that fills up then the last hole under the workbench. Yeah, then the next phenomena is jigs for the table saw. And there you see a saw sled. And there's still another platform for the router behind. And yeah, I start to die in jigs. There is a bunch of jigs, taper, and all kind of jigs. Then above there I have it for the photo frames, and 2 more little sleds. And it's also one for angles, 45, 60, 30, and the little one is just square. Then over there you see a resolve fence next to the cupboard. And yeah, some long stock in the corner, deep in the corner. And that's for aluminum and things. Then we get the open cupboard. And that's for electric hand tools. Then above you see still some storage. I could make 2 doors over there, but I didn't. And the rest I like to leave open. Then we get on the little shelf right away under the storage 2 sanding machines, a Dremel and a bicycle air pump. Left is a standard for a drill standard, and a battery drill. And right of it are the other drills. Then we get an electric circle saw, some weights, and a router, two jigsaws. Then under there you get the electric planer, a belt sander, another sander, a grinder, a multi-tool, ironer, solder iron, and then under we get the track saw right in the box, a track saw and two hammer drills, a sander and two tackers, and then under is still storage. Then we get the cords in the left corner, electrical cords, rope, whatever. Everything what has to hang, that can hang over there. And a stack of disc grinders and grinding stones. And then yeah, you get the entrance door. And I also have some stuff hanging over there. Battery charger and all kind of stuff. Now in the other corner, next to the door, you find still some USB cords and that sort. Yeah, that's also a handy thing. I have a tube, thread rods, and also shrinkage. And because it's transparent, yeah, you can see right away what's in it. Now we are opposite the workbench. There you see that other worktop. And there is first of all a cupboard. That's for technical books, manuals, that sort. Now we are opposite the workbench. There you see that other worktop. And there is first of all a cupboard. That's for technical books, manuals, that sort. Then we get drawers. This is then for insulation tape, that sort of stuff. Strips for edge bending. Here you see some electronics. And the other side it's batteries, plastic bags, little pieces of rope, whatever. All kind of stuff. It's predominantly drills. And router bits and dowels and some other miscellaneous. This is all screws, boot screws. It's full with almost under the 8 centimeter, almost every type of wood screw. This is then aluminum. That's a drawer for aluminum parts. Little parts. So if I need a little part, I just dive in the drawer and some miscellaneous nails, old wood nails, and some tie wraps and other electricity stuff. Then under the worktop, opposite the bench, there's still a grinder, you know, for the usual grinding stuff, and a scrap box. That's a very handy box for your rests of wood. Opposite the workbench, on the other worktop, yeah, you see a lot of bolts, nuts, washers, and that's also a bit the bigger bolts, all kind of metal hardware, chains, whatever, screws, hooks. Well, I still have to make 2 points, and that's about isolation, noise, and electricity, wall sockets. And I start with the first one. The isolation of such a place is very important. because it's an apartment and you don't want to disturb the neighbors. So what I did is I placed 2 layers of a sort of a felt, and that's 20 millimeters, on top of this floor. And then I got the decking. It's a laminate. And the walls, that's an outer wall, that is 20 centimeter brick. Then you get an airflow, a gap of 10 centimeter, and the neighbor's wall also 20 centimeters. That's another building. This is an interior wall, that's only 10 centimeters plus the chalk on both sides. So that makes 12 centimeters. And furthermore, I am my own neighbor, so I don't gonna complain. And there's the roof. So everything what that concerns is maximum taken care of. Now you see the back side, and that is two sliding doors with double glazing and single glazing outside. And that's really then outside. So there is still an 80 centimeter of air in between those 2 windows. So that is also well taken care of. Now we go to the electricity, and there is a quadruple wall socket. So that's for the workbench. And I have then a few in here on top. Then under the workbench I have, on this side I have 1. On the other side I have 1. Near the entrance I have 1. And then all the way in the back side, here behind, there's another one. Now it's not the meaning that in every wall socket you're gonna put 1000 watts in or so, you know. That's not what it's made for. Yeah, now you will think why such a lousy ceiling light. But that light is just for if I have very high objects. In here it's 238. So if I have a cupboard door or a cupboard of 230, it's very difficult if I have here some tubes running. So this one is very easy to move. And that's why I have this one. This is then the sort of flat pack cupboards what I produce in the shop. And they are 230 in this case by 40. So yeah, it's almost to the ceiling in the workshop. Well, I hope it was an interesting video. And yeah, maybe you can do something with this sort of ideas or tips, I don't know. But anyway, I like to thank you for watching, and maybe till the next time. Bye bye!